Welcome to another edition of House to Home. I'm Clyde Hawsey. Along with me here today is Isaiah Payne with Spokane Home Builders. You know,
Right.
over the last 20, 30 years, I've been a member of the Spokane Home Builders, and I says, the Spokane Home Builders is known as a leader of having the pros. And Isaiah came and says, why don't we start a new program as Find a Pro? And I really believe that we're onto something here because all of you have something going on within your residence or looking at a project, and you say, where do I go find the professionals? There's a lot of them in the phone books. And I guess I should back off a little bit and let our guest and you talk about this.
Yeah.
But when you find the pros, you know what you're talking about, and you find comfortable questions you can ask them and really give a definite direction. Deacon Band is your guest today.
Yep.
I only say that I introduced him instead of you because I know Deacon.
Yeah.
He and I serve on
It's a man around town.
well, hey, he is definitely a man around town. So, Isaiah, how is
Yeah.
the program working?
Yeah, great. You know, we really want to just help our community connect with a professional. If you're looking for help with your next home project and you're wondering who to contact, we have a group of members, 700 plus, around Eastern Washington here. And really people who have been at this business for a while. They understand the ins and the outs. They're going to be professional. They're going to be transparent. They're going to treat you well, treat you fairly, and really just we want to help make that connection. We want these projects to go well in people's homes, and really make sure they're taken care of. And so Deacon here is one of our members.
I bet
one
he
of our
thought we
fine
weren't ever
members
going to ask
who-
him anything.
Yeah, who does a great job. So Deacon, talk a little bit about your company, what you do, and some of the projects that you've been doing around our community here in Spokane.
Sure, thank you. My name is Deacon Band. Band Construction Inc. is my business. We've been in business for 17 years here in Spokane. And our main focus these days are kitchens, bathrooms, additions, and basements. And then we'd like to dabble in nonprofit work as well. Very much enjoying that. We're doing projects for transitions right now, and we have the honor of building out the Carl Maxey Center, Community Center. That's a very new project. What we found throughout time is that there has been kind of somewhat of a lack of knowledge within the homeowner of how to hire a contractor, how to go through the process, and make sure that you're treated fairly. And as a contractor, sometimes you get this kind of bad connotation leading
bad rap.
leading in front of you that you need to explain away every now and then, because sometimes you meet somebody who just they weren't treated fairly, and they need to then be kind of brought up to speed, and you need to talk to them through the process of, okay, we would like to remodel our kitchen. Okay, let's talk about a budget. Let's see what kind of numbers we're talking about. Let's talk about the purpose of the remodel. What's our goal? And then step into those needs of putting together a design, pricing the design. And you mentioned transparency. That is a huge part of our business, of outlining very clearly on a proposal all of the parts and pieces, all the aggregate that comes together to create this number. And with that, then being able to move those numbers around to fit a budget and fit a design, and then engage a contract and run through the project.
Well, Deacon, you're saying what I've been thinking about, what we've been talking about is
Yeah.
how to find a pro. And Deacon,
And this is what you should expect from a
that
pro.
yeah. It doesn't cost you any more money to get a pro than a non-pro, except in many cases it's cheaper because you don't have to redo the job.
You have to
You
call
get
a
what you
pro
want,
later
right?
to come back and fix it.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
Yeah.
But Deacon, before we forget it, I want to promote your company a little bit. Name of the company, location, how to get hold of you.
Sure. Band Construction Inc. We're located down on East Trent across from the Habitat for Humanity store. Website, bandconstruction.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and all those. And if you want to call the business, it's just 216-5384. And you can click through any of those sites to email myself, or you can just type out bandconstruction@gmail.
Okay, what I'm trying to show you folks, the viewers here today, you're talking about a company who is transparent and they know what they're talking about, and I would venture to say that the project doesn't quite fit your folder, shall we say, your expertise, you'll pass them on to another pro. And that's one of the things with the Spokane Home Builders. All of their members are quality people. We were fortunate enough, you sent in a few pictures, and I don't know if our producer, if Vinny can pull them up and begin to pull them up, and maybe you can talk through them a little few of them.
Sure, yeah. So what you see here is just a Google Street View of a house on the South Hill that when we had the windstorm a number of years ago, this house was cut in half. The lovely waterfall windows there on the front of the house was, the tree fell through that corner and through the garage and hit the house next door. And during the process, the homeowner said, hey, I really would like to add a master suite. And I don't know how to do that. What do we do? And I looked at the house and I said, let's draw up a design that adds that space over the garage. It brought a better feel to the house, a little more prominence up front. Having a house with just where you look at just the garage wasn't very architecturally appealing. And so that's what we did.
Wow.
We did a whole bunch of it's all cedar siding, and we improved the energy envelope of the home, and added a very nice master suite for the owner.
So you can actually work with the insurance companies and help the client work through his budget and what his wants or needs, and say, no, that doesn't quite fit in there.
Absolutely. In fact, we had to replace all the roofing, so we were able to pay for the new roof and all the new trusses through the insurance, and what he paid for, and I was kind of jokingly saying he was paying for the cream and the Oreo, and that we just built that second floor at his cost, and the insurance covered the rest of the rebuild.
That's what the pros can do. They can help you out. That's my point. That's really important.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, you said that you do a lot of kitchen remodels and a few other things like that, bathrooms? Yes.
You know, kitchen remodeling is really a big thing. Here's a picture of a before shot and a mid-century on the north side. You see they have a young child. This is the same doorway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the young child. The kitchen was very cut up, limited in the corner, just very unfunctional for a modern family, and just kind of divided. So what we did was opened up the floor plan. We created a neat little seating area, as you can see, somewhat of a command center in the corner for the child. Upgraded, of course, all the fixtures, quartz countertops, new hardwood floors. All of the appliances were upgraded. On the countertops, we had a little bit of fun because we wanted to soften up this large island of quartz with something softer. So we used a butcher block countertop, as you can see, to kind of add a little bit of a design detail to the space. In that hood, we created, there's a good before picture.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Pretty tight little area there. That's the same space right there. Apron sink. The hood we wrapped with wood that we created ourselves. We resawed and stained it and finished it.
So that was before, and then the after gives you the complete living area. That is beautiful. You know, that's one of the things, folks, again, I'm going to go back to this because I got to drive it home. Working with a pro, find a pro through the Home Builders Association like Deacon is, that's what it's going to give you the end result. So they're going to help you choose the right products to make the end result something beautiful like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. We also use a designer who's a member of the Home Builders Association as well.
That's very good. Everybody that you're going to see showing on House to Home is going to be all a member of the Spokane Home Builders, the pros. So as we go through these pictures, we're going to find other areas that you have been doing work on. The challenges, and again, I want to deal with presently. We're all wearing masks. We're being safety, and safety is number one in your company. I know it is. Some of the practices and procedures are even within the construction site, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So all of our employees mask up when on site.
Right.
We're following the guidelines that have been laid in front of us, and then I feel like taking it a step further in communicating with the client, because every person, we work in people's homes, and everybody has a different level of comfort. So we identify those particular items and make sure that to work with them directly to make that comfort level happen. And it's already difficult to have somebody come in and take your kitchen apart or your bathroom or something like that. It's very disruptive. And then we put this virus on top of that. And I think what it's actually done is created just a higher level of construction site safety and awareness.
Well, I want to say, Deacon, you were answering some of the questions I know you and I shared. I wanted to really show everybody what a professional you are and how you look forward to being a guest at their home and giving them end results as we're beginning to see. And we're going to look at more of them after the break. But the issue is, you are a professional, and through the Spokane Home Builders, you can get any type of a professional. Deacon is in the construction end of it and the remodeling and so forth, and we'll be touching on some other things you do. But anywhere that you have a project that you need some help on and don't know where to turn, go to the Spokane Home Builders. So let's take a quick break right now. We'll come back, and we'll be joined again with Deacon Band, Isaiah Payne. We'll see you right shortly.
To help you be safe, Washington state law requires you to call 811 2 full business days before you plan, for example, to dig, drill, plow, pull from, or pound anything into the ground. Be prepared to provide the operator with the correct address, cross street, and the description of your work. You must mark the dig area with white paint. The operator will inform you of the utilities notified of your impending excavation. Wait for all their marks. Be safe and dig with care.
When building a home or considering a major remodel, who are you going to choose? The Spokane Home Builders Association is an organization that works to elevate professionalism in the residential construction industry. We promote, protect, and educate for our community, building our community one home at a time. We are the Spokane Home Builders Association.
Here at River Ridge Hardware, we carry a great selection of Krylon brand spray paints, Color Master, general purpose, the Rust Protector for taking care of metal, Fusion for taking care of plastics, and the Super Max that can take care of it all.
Weather in the inland Northwest can wear you down. And if your gutters are in poor condition or you do not have gutters, you could suffer damage that could cost a fortune to fix. Rainman Seamless Rain Gutters has almost 30 years of professional experience in serving the inland Northwest region and strives to ensure customer service that is second to none, from the time you call to the end of the project.
Welcome back to House to Home. I'm Clyde Hawsey, along with Isaiah Payne, our special guest, Deacon Band. And we've been talking about how to find a pro at the Spokane Home Builders. And folks, I'm going to tell you right now, this show here today and has been going on could only happen by major sponsors. Avista is one of the major sponsors, along with Spokane Home Builders.
Yeah, and then also River Ridge Hardware, as well as Rainman Seamless Rain Gutters. In fact, Deacon, you were just talking about you've done some work with Rainman, correct?
We have used Rainman for well over a decade.
Okay.
They are our only source for rain gutters.
See, what the pro is saying, he's got pros around him. So when you get Deacon as a pro, you get other pros, right?
That's right.
And that's what I want to really have stretch the real honest truth, is that when you hire the right people, and that's what we're here about today. So some of the other issues that you're dealing with in Deacon, I know you guys were talking during the break.
Yeah, I know we talked about in the first part here about an addition. We looked at some kitchen remodel. I think we have some bathroom remodel too. So I'd like to take a look at that. And then if you could just talk to us about what people are thinking about DIY in this sort of space. What are maybe some tips that you would have for someone as they're looking at a project and maybe trying to do some of this work on their own?
Absolutely. Well, the first thing I would do is ask you to reflect on your own ability or willingness to learn. If you have high level of skill and a high ability or desire or passion to learn, there's a lot of resources for you. In essence, you might be taking on becoming your own general contractor. If you're comfortable with all that and you can understand the process and move through it safely or at a speed that you can understand, by all means. In that process, though, there are going to be some things that you cannot do yourself, and you will need to have materials and other things supplied to you. That's when I would suggest then you reach back out to the home builders and look for that pro that you need. Like countertops is a great example. The average person and even the advanced person probably isn't going to be able to move a slab of quartz, cut it, polish it, and install it. Right? That is something that is done by a professional with professional tools. for a DIYer with less experience, there are a lot of things you can do. Painting is something that can be taken on usually by yourself. Repainting cabinets, say, and changing out hardware versus replacing the cabinets. Changing out a faucet. Those are things that I think most people with a little bit of that DIY spirit can handle. If you talk about gutting a kitchen out, removing the floor and the walls and everything down to studs and starting from scratch, I highly recommend reach out to a professional and start that process of design and pricing and construction.
Well, I think what Deacon is saying as a pro, he's going to say, I can help you a lot, and Deacon does a lot of things for the community, and I know a phone call to your company, and you would probably share some stories with them or give them a direction that they want to follow. DIY is great, and of course I should talk because I sure have a lot of scars, wounds, and projects, and I had to call somebody to finish it. Mm-hmm. In fact, I just did that last night. I just had to get hold of somebody to finish a project because I love doing them, but I don't know what I'm doing because I don't do it every day.
That's right.
So finding a pro is so important. I know that with our sponsors, we support each other, and I know the Spokane Home Builders really does that heavily. Mm-hmm. Are you seeing that some of the changes? Because I know that people say, well, I want to get this project done right now. Well, you know what, folks? It won't happen right now because everybody's so busy, right? The
Yes.
good ones are busy.
Yes, absolutely. I wonder if even some of the bad ones are busy as well.
Well,
but there are a lot of projects going on. People are, because of our current situation, a lot
Right.
of people are working from home and realizing that, I need to update this space. It doesn't fit my needs. And so, that's a good thing. I really think it's something that's driving people to do things that they wouldn't maybe normally do. And that is good. It's good to learn and good to take on, a new challenge. And it goes kind of back to that point of like, figure out where you're at and what part of it you can do, what you're comfortable with, and then maybe what's safe, and make a decision there. But yes, contractors are booking out fairly far. Supply chains are a little slower, but it's all still happening. So
Okay.
Don't discourage yourself from doing a project. Just get into the queue,
Okay.
and you will be taken care of.
And when you're dealing with a pro, they can show you some pictures and referrals, and maybe our producer can bring up some pictures of some more projects that you've been doing along the way so that we can understand the type of work of remodeling the kitchen or remodeling the bathroom.
Bathrooms, yeah.
I think that's real important. So, Vinny, can you bring us into that area a little bit, and you could explain to us
Sure.
what's going on?
Yeah. Here's a large kitchen. In fact, where you see that stainless steel fridge, it's actually 2 refrigerators.
Wow.
There was a wall there and a hallway, and we removed an entire wall to remove the hallway and pushed that whole entire system back to make the room much larger. And another cool thing about this space here is that command center in the lower left.
Yes.
This is a family of 7, and they needed to organize who's doing what, where, and responsibilities. I thought it was a brilliant idea, and our kitchen designer ran with it. Their
Beautiful.
family's so large, this was an office, is now a pantry, and basically a second kitchen. That the
So is that another fridge I see in there?
that is another fridge, another
I didn't
oven,
even see
another
it.
microwave. There's another sink. There's a big storage system on the right to control all the food. And what a beautiful design! It's
that is
very
gorgeous.
pleasing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, and here's a completely different project. So this, you might recognize this as Camalini's up north.
It's been around for a long time.
A long
folks.
time, yeah. And they needed to update this space, update this building and this entryway. So we went ahead and built this covered entry off the front, and very photogenic for the weddings and other events that happen.
And I know
there.
your company does design, helping on the design aspect of it too, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Very good.
Absolutely.
And so, are there other pictures you want to share with us at this time, then, Vinny? Oh, there
If
you
you'd
go.
like to look at
yeah.
mid-century modern on the South Hill that the owner purchased several years ago, and we went in and I think we ended up with 30 colors of paint in this home.
Beautiful.
Very specific. We put flooring on the ceiling. We remodeled the kitchen, modern kitchen. That's a marmoleum floor, which is really great flooring. Custom built bench in the corner. And this just shows the design differences within a home. This is the same home, a bathroom with a completely different look to it.
I love it.
It's amazing. And then the master bath, And one of the things I'd like to note here is this is a fully accessible bathroom.
Wow.
The toilet that's behind the wall is accessible, the sink and countertop is accessible, and the shower is a zero curb shower.
I put one of those in, folks, and if you have a chance, do it.
Absolutely. That's the way it should be done.
Yep. Beautiful.
Oh, and a little diversity in projects. Signage for a campground, casino, and grocery store way up north. We took a picture of a design, and we built this large, fancy signage. We did this with Baldwin signs.
Wow. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Totally fun.
So you involve yourself into not just the Spokane area, but other locations that if you get involved in the commercial sites, residential sites, again, you're quite open, but you know your channel of work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you involve other pros into that.
We very much like to have fun with our projects and work with fun people.
Well, you know, one of the things that I want to point out to you folks, I've known Deacon for a long time. I sent him an email last night and I says, Deacon, we're going to talk about how the professionals do things. Contracts, big time, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Very important to you.
Yeah.
And are they? Can you read them when you get all done? You try to be plain English.
Absolutely. You know, the most important thing with that process is transparency and detail in the estimate. So you can see all of the different areas that you were paying and all of the parts and pieces that add up to that number. And then that number typically just translates into the contract, and there could be items where cost plus items or other things. One thing I really point out for the homeowner when you're hiring a professional is to focus on the draw schedule, if you will. How much am I paying down, and then what's the process after? Most of us require a down payment, usually to pay for cabinets or some type of material up front. And then after that, we do work in place. So pay up front, you pay for these supplies, they get shipped, and then we do not bill again until a certain previously agreed upon amount of work or a milestone is completed. So then you cut a check for work that's been done. If you're paying ahead, you need a really good reason to pay ahead.
Well, you know, and I know we're running out of time here, Deacon, but I want to say to you folks, again, I'm back to this, Isaiah. You're dealing with a professional person in their industry. And Deacon, tell us again how we can get hold of you.
You know, the best thing to do is to just call me, 509-216-5384. Shoot me a call.
Okay. Deacon is very open. He always has a great opinion, and he will give you the time and answer your questions. He will give you a contract. He's going to give you a list of things. He's going to give you all that you need to make a good decision and not be a second decision of having to go back and do it over again. Any other quick tips from the Spokane Home Builders before we have to take a close to this?
Yeah.
Deacon, I want to tell you thank you.
My
This
pleasure.
has been a phenomenal. And I hope you've enjoyed a lot of this because, again, we have a lot of professionals. We've got almost over, what, 700?
Yeah, over 700 members at the Spokane Home Builders Association. And just encourage you, if you're looking for help with your next home project, if you want to work with a professional like Deacon and tap into that expertise and experience,
Right.
really that transparency and honesty is something that we very highly value and promote within our industry. So go to shba.com. You can go to Find a Pro and find help with your next home project.
Or I'm going to go ahead and say, and if you want to become one of those pros and you are a pro,
That's right.
you can actually join this group.
You can
and
apply
could
to become
be-
a member. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Deacon, they can sit in your chair then, and they can tell us
Absolutely.
about them. But I want to say thank you. Thank you, Isaiah. Thank you. You know, this is all part of the process of how to find a pro, know where to go, and have a direction. So until next time, I'm Clyde Hawsey. Isaiah, Deacon, thank you. We'll see you then.
Thanks for watching. Ask the host a question, recommend a guest, or check out any of our other programs on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com. Sponsored by Avista.